Like it makes me uncomfortable to be stereotyped and like, just because of the color of my skin.
On February 27, 2015, Oak Park and River Forest High School held an assembly to support the Black Lives Matter campaign. This was exclusively for Black students only. Students who were non-African American were turned away at the door. The parents of these students were angered by this. Eventually, the news spread to newspapers and social media such as the Chicago Tribune, the Washington Times, Yahoo Parenting, and even a UK newspaper, The Independent. This induced negative feedback from people around the world. Some even saying that the principal, Nathaniel Rouse, should be fired. The school began getting angry calls from parents and even people who did not have children attending the school. Some even called Principal Rouse personally. The board president, John Phelan, feared lawsuits because he believed this could be considered a separate but equal rule, which was a segregation doctrine that was ruled unconstitutional in 1954. Everyone was so focused on the school's actions that they didn't pay particular attention to hear the voices of the students. But as this discussion continued, it became less about the students and more about whether this was reflecting racist ideas. How did the students really feel?
So my overall opinion on the Assembly for Black Lives Matter, I would say that generally it had a very positive purpose behind it. I think it was meant to bring a lot of these people together, and I think it was looked at in so many different perspectives that I think most of them came out as negative, but for the few that were actually open-minded towards this whole entire program or organization, whatever you want to call it, I think that it was sort of beneficial in many ways.
I think Principal Rouse's overall goal was a good thing. I think we should have these kind of conversations, especially within individual races. And so yeah, his overall goal I think was good. I don't think the way that he went about it was the right way. I think he could have they could have made they could have advertised it more or made it more known what exactly it was and who exactly it was geared towards.
Overall, I think it was okay. I mean, it could have been better because students were talking, they were acting like things were a joke. And I mean, Mr. Rouse tried his best, but to quiet down people, it's like he was kind of scared to quiet us down. And it's like, you're our kind, you should be able to be like, hey, quiet, and we're all silent. But it was just like a lunch. Well,
I felt like it was definitely necessary, but as a black student, I don't know, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because it was done at the end of February, and February is Black History Month, and I feel like black students are only acknowledged when it's either Martin Luther King's birthday, the holiday, or Black History Month.
I believe that race should matter in Oak Park. I believe that race should matter anywhere in the world. I believe that race is a thing. Race is what a person is. You can't change a race in somebody. I feel like race is something that should be very important and not just judged.
I mean, I could again, I'm gonna go off the Hispanic kids. There are a couple of kids that just came here from Ecuador, so that their experience is completely different. They're learning English. They're learning, the school is completely different for them. Imagine yourself, you come from a school that's way smaller, way different, not as many kids, all this stuff is completely new to them.
All there is on the news about African American people is that someone died or there's some riot on Ferguson or something. So I don't know, maybe we need to have the focus put off us a little bit. That it's not necessarily a bad thing to have other races in it though.
I think that we are a diverse community. There is a very diverse. There's a lot of diverse people who live here, but I think if you look at where these different races live, like who lives north, who lives south, like where people live within Oak Park and River Forest, it is not as diverse in the different areas.
Biggest deception that they can use, that they can possibly use in resulting with the title of Oak Park in general. And although the school says that they are diverse and integrated, really, and if you look inside of the walls of the school, it's really segregated in almost every aspect. From the lunchroom tables to who sits where in the classroom, it's almost always divided. If you were to ask the students to choose their own seats, black kids would be in one part, white kids would be in another part, Hispanic people would be in another part. That's what I see in almost every single classroom.
When I got here, I went to Emerson, that's in Maywood, and it's basically an all-black community, about 1% Mexican and 1% white. So to me, it is more diverse than Maywood, but it's kind of still secluded, like where you have the black tables, you have the white tables, and then sometimes you got like a mix of both. And so it kind of is and it kind of isn't. Like some of the security guards treat you different, and it's like it depends on who you're with, because if you're with a whole black group, then people see you differently. But if you're with just one white group and you're just the only black person in there, they kind of see you as, oh, maybe you're proper and nice, just like that.
I feel like all of the races, especially white people, should hear about the history of other races and the other hardships that other races have gone through, because if we can't just ignore that and think it'll go away. Like that's part of our history, and it's been part of our history for a long time, and the only way to kind of like move away from that and kind of fix that is you talk about it. And I think if anything, we should talk about it a lot more and start more at an earlier age.
I never would actually think that something that's happened in my parents' and grandparents' lifetime is happening to me right now.
The thing about it is I like to try. I like to sit there and try and exceed any goal that is set for me. I don't like limitations at all. And there's a lot of kids here that just don't see that. There's a lot of kids here that needs to be removed in order to make the school a better place for everyone.
That's the thing, there are a lot of really smart kids in this school, and I think that and then there are kids that are I'm not saying they're stupid, but they just don't want to try. They just come here and they don't care. They put their head on the desk and they sleep. And I used to be like that, and I know what I'm talking about. And and then I stepped it up. I turned it up, like you said, a 4.0. It used to be like a 2.8. I was below average.
I was worse.
Anyone in the school, and I mean everybody can step up if they want to take it to the next level. You just it's gotta be in your mindset, and it's not easy. Trust me. There's gonna be a lot of setbacks, and there's gonna be a lot of failures, but you just gotta keep pushing through it. See what type of character you have.
My freshman year here, my teacher took out the entire period. My English teacher took out the entire period to talk about race and the achievement gap, and I'm new to this school and I didn't know what she was talking about, because my last school was predominantly black. All the teachers were white, but everyone was black. It was a super small school. But anyway, so we were talking about it, and she's like, yeah, she says this one comment. She's like, typically a lot of black kids aren't really smart. And so and that was just done for me. I mean, this is an honors class, by the way, so it kind of made me feel a little bit bad. I mean, I know she's trying to say that, yeah, it's a little bit obvious that a lot of white people are in these high honor classes.
We get to all share different experiences. I think it's a great thing for a lot of, for this school. And unfortunately, it's not as diverse. The school has to take that off. It's not as diverse as you might think it is. This school is mainly It's what it's supposed to be. We're in America. This is American school. It's dominated by Americans. It's not like, I love the school. I have a lot of pride for it, but like, is it as diverse as they say? I'm not sure.
Major.